time is 1:15. Here's the news edited by Catherine Pereira. Read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Tourist arrivals increased by 10% than the first quarter of this year. The price of 50 essential food items from South Asia has been reduced. Extending of the 65 years retirement period of state employees will be effective from next month. The meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers scheduled to be held tomorrow. The world's largest single natural crystal ball sapphire named as Queen of Asia found in Sri Lanka. Brazil to demand proof of vaccination from foreign visitors. Local news in detail. Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says that currently tourist arrivals has been increased by 10% than the first quarter of the year. Many programs have been implemented for the promotion of tourism industry. 22 projects costing billions of rupees have been implemented in Kuchuveli, Kalpitia and Bentota tourism zones. All these projects are to be completed during the next 2 years period. Transport facilities between Ella and Yara tourism areas will also be developed. New 5,500 tourist attraction places have been identified in order to develop tourism industry in the country. The authority also stated that they are expecting 50,000 tourist arrivals in the country at the end of this month. Minister Vimal Veeravansa says that the country is in economic setback at this juncture. The people should understand the reality of this situation. He said several parts of income received to the country have been blocked. The government is taking measures to solve the dollar's crisis in the country. The budget proposes to extend the retirement age of 65 years of government servants will be effective from next month. Secretary of the Ministry of Public Administration, J.J. Ratnasari, said that many proposals are being received to implement this budget proposal from the day it was passed. The employees of the private sector can continue their service until 60 years of age. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank.
Continuing with more local news, the meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers scheduled to be held tomorrow and will focus more attention on the foreign exchange reserves crisis the country is currently facing. Secretary to the Finance Ministry, Mr. S.R. Atigala, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ajit Nivatkarbal, will also be summoned to the Cabinet meeting. Tomorrow is the first meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers since the government's budget for the financial year 2022 was passed in Parliament. Meanwhile, Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that the agreement on the Yugadana power plant is also expected to be taken up for discussion tomorrow. World's largest single natural crystal blue sapphire named as Queen of Asia, weighing around 310 kilograms, found in Sri Lanka. It was found in the Ratnapura district. Chairman of the National Gem and Jewellery Authority, Tilak Veerasinghe, visited the area to observe it. The mission of Exim Bank of India, who is currently in Sri Lanka, was to observe the progress of the several projects in Sri Lanka. They had cordial discussions with the contractors of the water projects implemented in Alutgama and Polgahavela. They also held discussions with the government's senior officials on completion of these water projects soon. Water purification construction activities in 9 reservoirs in Dambulla area is being processed successfully. The financial assistance in this regard will be provided under concessionary loan facilities. The government has decided to provide a 100,000 rupee loan for the people who are engaged in freshwater industry. The loan will be given for the development of the fisheries sector in the country. The Aqua Cultivation Development Authority said that more assistance will be given for them to develop their fishing activities. Minister Dr. Banduru Gunawardhan said that the consumers can purchase several varieties of rice at lower than 100 rupees through Satas outlets on behalf of the festival season. This concession will be given until the end of this year. 50 essential food items can be purchased from Satas outlets from today. That ends local news.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's credit cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalopa Vedamahatmya.
The national awards for the 10 labor leading figures who have contributed their task from long time in the history in labor battle that links with the trade unions movement in the country will be held on Wednesday. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa will be the chief guest at the event, which is to be held at the Temple Trace. This program has been organized by the Jatika Sampatha Lottery, Shramavasana Fund and the Ministry of Labour. Minister Nimal Sedipal de Silva said that 150,000 rupee cash awards and the award certificates will be presented to them. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalopa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to watch light, Senagama Pahalavava area belongs to the Kathalapitiya Govijana Seva area has been in dilapidated condition and covered with full of weed. The cultivation activities of areas of paddy lands have been abandoned due to this reason. They request the relevant authorities to renovate this area soon. This is for the attention of the Department of Irrigation of Hambantota. That came to you on Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines first. Brazil to demand proof of vaccination from foreign visitors. Japan, South Korea foreign ministers holding informal talks in Britain. New Caledonia voting for independence. World News in detail. A Supreme Court judge in Brazil has ruled that foreign visitors will need to provide a COVID-19 vaccination certificate to enter the country. The ruling invalidates regulations issued previously by the National Health Agency demanding only a negative PCR test for foreign arrivals. The judge said it would be impossible to check all visitors and prevent the spread of the new Omicron variant. Lenient measures had made the country popular among non-vaccinated visitors. The ruling is seen as another defeat for President Jair Bolsonaro, who has repeatedly undermined efforts to control the spread of the virus in one of the world's hardest hit countries by the pandemic. Japanese Foreign Minister Hayashi Yoshimizu met with the South Korean counterpart Chung Eui-yong on the sidelines of the group of 7 foreign ministers meeting in Liverpool, Britain. They held informal talks during the dinner session for foreign ministers. It was their first face-to-face meeting. Hayashi explained the Japanese government's position on issues over overtime labor and those referred to as comfort women. The two reaffirmed the importance of cooperation between their countries and trilateral cooperation with the United States on a range of issues, including those related to North Korea. Voters in New Caledonia in the South Pacific are casting their ballots on independence from France. New Caledonia has been a French colony since the 19th century. The archipelago has a population of about 270,000. Social divides between the rich and poor have fueled independence movements supported mainly by the indigenous Kanaks. The referendum was outlined in the Noémia Accord of 1998 between France and pre-independence groups. Vote counting will start shortly after balloting closes. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines. Brazil to demand proof of vaccination from foreign visitors. Japan, South Korea foreign ministers hold informal talks in Britain. New Caledonia voting for independence. That ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Foundation stone will be laid for the new community water scheme in the Hedagodavatta Koravagama Niyagama Goal. 150 families will be benefited by the scheme. The Goal District Office of the Community Water Supply Department said that more than 10 million rupees has allocated for the project. That ends Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Victoria Golf and Country Resort VGCR secured the award for Sri Lanka's best golf course at the 8th Annual World Golf Awards. The World Golf Awards celebrate and awards excellence in golf tourism, world-class courses and golf destinations, recognizing leaders setting the benchmark in the industry. Votes are cast by the professionals working within the golf industry and by golf tourism consumers. VGCR is owned by John Case Properties and managed by Troon International. It is located by the Victoria Reservoir in the hills of the Digana. The golf course has been lauded for its picturesque nature and unique sporting experience. That ends Sports News.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
MadeInSriLanka.org internet trade website was officially vested with the public as a measure to enhance the industrial sector in the country. This is not only a network that links between businessmen and the consumers, but also expanding connection between a businessman to the businessman. The local producers can be entered into an international market easily. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
It has been reported that the Lanka QR payment system, which was introduced by the Sri Lanka Central Bank, has now been popular in many trade institutes. 3 leading model trade institutes has been marked 23 million rupees income at the weekends due to the transaction and payments conducted through Q Plus payment app. Lanka QR code was introduced by the CBSL together with the licensed financial institutions and Lanka Clear Private Limited with the aim of moving towards a less cash society which increases financial inclusion in Sri Lanka. Lanka QR enables customers to make payments directly from their bank accounts to accounts of merchants or service providers using payment apps of the Lanka QR certified financial institutions. Lanka QR is a low-cost digital payment solution which targets small and medium enterprises, especially increasing the availability of Lanka QR in Sri Lanka to 1 million merchants by the end of 2020. That ends Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department says the northwestern monsoon is gradually establishing over the island. Showers will occur at times in the eastern, northern, north central and Ubud provinces and in Hambantota and Matari districts. Fairly heavy rainfall, above 50 mm, can be expected at some places in these areas. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sabragamu and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy rainfall, above 75 mm, can be expected at some places in these areas. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in western and Sabragamu provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts during the morning. That ends Weather Report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Tourist arrivals increased by 10% than the first quarter of this year. The price of 50 essential food items from Satosa has been reduced. Extending of the 65 years retirement period for state employees will be effective from next month. The meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers scheduled to be held tomorrow. The world's largest single natural crystal blue sapphire named as Queen of Asia found in Sri Lanka. In world news, Brazil to demand proof of vaccination from foreign visitors. That we conclude the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Amanda.